Hey everyone, I'm a little late to the game here, obviously, and by little I mean very late. I mean, we're already into the conference finals, but I was traveling over the weekend. It was holiday weekend. I was back in PEI visiting family, and I filmed a meal time with Dad. If you haven't seen it, I released it on the channel, so love it if you could check that out. But I wanted to just talk about some of the surprises, I guess, in the previous round, and just some things that happened that it's never too late to kind of talk about. And some people asked my opinions, so figured I'd make it, even though it is late. So the four teams that we're going to talk about today are all the eliminated teams, and then I'll just briefly at the end give my thoughts on the current teams that have moved forward and are playing each other. But let's start off with Boston. I decided to wear Boston today because there's an issue here that's not really hockey related that I want to get off my chest. And I talked a little bit about this in our podcast. If you're not aware, we do have a podcast that's called the Post to Post Podcast. It's got its own YouTube channel. It's on iTunes, Google Play, all that good stuff. It is also linked down below in the description. So, Rask is the issue, and I don't mean Rask is the issue, I mean the issue involving Rask. I see a lot of, not just Bruins fans, but the majority of Bruins fans, okay, let me reword that. The majority of the people that I'm seeing saying this are Bruins fans because it's Tuukka Rask and it involves their teams. I don't mean all of, or the most of the Bruins fans are saying this. But there are a lot of people saying how disappointed they are that he left and let the team down, and that's why Boston lost. And I don't necessarily disagree that that's why Boston lost. I don't agree or disagree with that. I think that's a valid opinion to make, and I would love to have a discussion about it possibly on the podcast with Jason or just in general and at a future date. But I don't agree with the fact that people are calling him out on social media and saying incredibly hurtful and rude things to him, and judging him by his decisions because he wanted to be closer to his family during this time. I think that's completely selfish. I think it's ridiculous, and I think it's uncalled for. It's unacceptable. He's a player, goalie, but he's still a human. He still has family. He's not a robot. He's not a soldier with no one to with only himself to lose. He has an entire family back in his home country of Finland that he has to worry about, hockey or not. And family always comes first. So to those people who are frustrated with Rask and think he completely let the team down and have no intentions of ever cheering for him again, to you, do not be so selfish. Okay? Tuukka Rask has a life, and he will live it. And who are we to judge him for that? So I'm so sick of seeing that online, and I think it needs to stop. I think those people are ridiculous. With that said, maybe even if Tuukka Rask was there, I don't even know if Boston could have gotten by Tampa. Tampa is, there's no other way to say it, they're on a roll. They're just simply on a roll, tearing down walls. Tearing down walls that were built up by themselves last year. Walls of doubt, walls of disappointment with the loss to Columbus, and not only the loss, but the sweep. So they needed to break those walls down, and I think they've done that so far in these playoffs, and they've advanced, and they're, as I'm filming this, after that first game, tearing it up. So I don't necessarily think that even with everyone in Boston healthy, because there were some others who had some problems, Bergeron, Pasternak, even if they were all healthy, I don't even know if they could have beat Tampa because Tampa has been playing so well. And even Tampa themselves are missing players. So it just wasn't Boston's year. Before the season started, I predicted them to win the Cup. I was wrong. They got further than most teams, which is great, but at the end of the day, I was definitely wrong. Sad to see them go a little bit, actually. There's a lot of players in Boston I like. You guys have heard me say that before. But I am a Canadiens fan, so any time that Boston leaves the playoffs is always kind of a happy day for sure. Let's move on over to the other team in the East, the Philadelphia Flyers, a team that my Canadiens played in a previous round. The Flyers are an enigma. They are confusing. They are hard to gauge, hard to predict. They have a very strong team. They're coached very well, but they're incredibly inconsistent. And it's frustrating to watch them at times. It's really exciting to watch them at times, but the other half is just like, who's going to show up? Is Giroux going to be there? Is Voracek going to be there? Is whoever else? Are they going to contribute? So it's frustrating hockey to watch. They wouldn't be even close to as deep in the playoffs without Carter Hart. So there's some work to do in Philadelphia. I felt really good about them going into the playoffs. I picked them in my bracket to win the Stanley Cup. That's how good I felt about them. But they just lack consistency this year from a lot of players. So I'm disappointed, even though I don't really like the Flyers. But they're very well coached and they have a really good system there. So I think they'll bounce back next year with hopefully some adjustments. I think some new bodies need to come in and maybe some hard decisions need to be made in Philadelphia to send some people out. But it's a team that's moving up the ranks for sure. Over to the West, we've got the Canucks and we've got the Colorado Avalanche. I'll start with the Avalanche because they were the team that I was cheering for the most in this entire round. Very frustrating. Injury galore. I think they were on their third or fourth string goalie. It's incredibly disappointing because you look at McKinnon and he had something like 25 points in 14 games or something ridiculous like that. You really wanted to see that streak go on. Could he break a record? Could he do this? How many points could he get by the end of this thing? And Colorado's a fun team to watch. Just as a general hockey fan, I don't care if you like them or dislike them. Just watching them play hockey is a treat. There are so many skilled players on the team. It's unbelievable. So it's really disappointing to see them go through so many injuries and basically just not be able to claw enough at Dallas to take them down. But they clawed. I mean, they came back in the series. They really did almost win the series, but Dallas was just as inconsistent as Dallas is, even more than Philadelphia. Dallas was still able to put the nail in the coffin there on the Colorado Avalanche, which is disappointing because obviously I was cheering for Colorado, but I really like Dallas as well. They're neck and neck almost. So very thrilled to see Dallas move on and potentially get one step closer to the Stanley Cup. That's really, really exciting. They need to be consistent, though. Like when Dallas is consistent and everyone's on the game, man, they're a scary team. But you never know when that switch is just going to flick off and it's just going to be dead. And that happens a lot to Dallas. So, again, a team that I can't really predict. That's why I'm not even going to make predictions from here on out going to the rest of these playoffs. So, let's transition over to Vancouver. A team with so much promise, so much young talent on the team. Kind of like Colorado, so fun to watch. Great system, great coach, great skilled guys up front and on the back. Tough, very tough because you're cheering for them. Not that I'm cheering against Vegas. I like Vegas too, but you're cheering for the team, and you can just tell that they're just not even the same level as Vegas. They're just not there at all. Not offensively, not defensively, not physically. Vegas just outplayed them in every aspect of the ice. It's incredible that Vancouver even made it that far in the series. Demko was the reason that Vancouver held in so long. They just couldn't generate any offense that would just. They'd have a couple shifts where there's there's something there, and then it just never turned into anything. They couldn't generate shots. Even when they did generate shots, Vegas did a really good job blocking shots and forcing the plays at the outside. So, I mean, kudos to Vegas. Full marks to Vegas for playing really well against Vancouver, a very skilled team. But Vancouver is, man, they're going to be scary in the next 1 to 5, 6 years or whatever, depending on cap and all that stuff. That team's going to be fun to watch, and they're going to do a lot of damage. So, Vancouver fans have to be happy about the run this year, even though that they lost and didn't make it all the way. But, I mean, you can really say that for all these teams. There's things to be proud about all four of these teams. I think fans are disappointed, but still happy that we were able to play hockey, and maybe I did get to see my team go into the first round or second round or third round or whatever. So even though it's not a typical year, it's still fun to watch hockey. So let's move on to the final four teams that we have right now. So it's the Tampa Bay Lightning versus the New York Islanders, and I didn't watch Game 1, but I know the score of Game 1, and I don't even know. I'm just going to say, just based on score, that's not a typical game that we will see for the rest of the series. But wild. I'm going to have to watch the highlights. I've been so busy coming back and unpacking and going to work and catching up on work, so I'm a little unqualified to make this video. But I'm cheering for the Islanders. I don't think they'll win, but I am cheering for hard for the Islanders. I really want them to win. Over to the West, I am cheering for Dallas. But I like both teams. I really like Dallas. I really like Vegas. I'm just not happy that Vegas got rid of my favorite coach, Gerard Gallant, so they're going to move down my list, and Dallas has always been kind of at the top. So Dallas is my team in the West, but if Vegas moves on, I'll be very happy as well. Whoever comes out of the West, I'm going to be cheering for. Doesn't matter, even if the Islanders, who I like, make it to the finals, I still like Vegas and I still like Dallas more. So if the Islanders make it to the finals, I will be very happy because, I would really like to see them win. So it'll be a very enjoyable finals for me if the Islanders move on, and regardless of who comes out of the West. I have a 3 and 4 shot of a 75% chance of being happy with the winner of the Stanley Cup, but I kind of have a feeling that Tampa Bay is going to exaggerate the 25% up a little bit and kind of get this thing done. So anyways, let me know your thoughts of these eliminations of Boston, Colorado, Philadelphia, and Vancouver, and also your predictions for this round. Who's going to win between Dallas and Vegas, and why? Who's going to win between the Islanders and Tampa Bay, and why? I would love to know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for having a conversation with me. I enjoy reading your comments down below, and I would love it if you could hit the subscribe button also down below. Also, there's a little like button down there too. If you like this video, if you made it this far, you probably like the video, so hit that like button down below. I really appreciate that. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Adios.